It's your girl Marina from Houston, Texas, uh, coming in to say hi to you guys, see how y'all are doing. Obviously, this is being recorded at IQ Podcast Studio in the lovely Coronado in San Diego, California. Let's see, big week this week in music, obviously, or less than a week, whatever you want to call it. So we are definitely going to get into those lovely Sunday night Grammys here in a few seconds. But first and foremost, I do want to let you know that Sarah, my engineer, is on the show with me today. She's not going to be showing her pretty face, but she's going to be helping me along with pictures and fun stuff for you guys to look at today. For those of you that didn't listen last week, I am in the process of remodeling a podcast room here at my home. So that's what's in the background if you're wondering why there's just a bunch of foam and pink stuff everywhere. So let's get into it. The Grammys. Oh, those lovely Grammys, you guys. What has happened to the music industry? I don't watch the Grammys. I haven't watched the Grammys in years. But I woke up to what looked like almost the death of the world on stage Sunday night when I was looking at my social media posts and stuff. So, I was doing some research and reading with the Grammys, and back in the day, I think the Grammys started somewhere in the late 50s, I believe, early 60s, late 50s, and it just seemed to be such a place full of glamour and grace and like grand and masculine and people coming out of the Beverly Hills Hilton Hotel, and it just seems like the Grammys have really not come. Like, you're supposed to progress, right? You're supposed to go further in what you're doing, and it just seems like they haven't really done anything except go backwards. And back in the day, they would honor artists great artists like Sinatra, B.B. King, Bing Crosby, all the way to Jimmy Buffett, Willie Nelson, the lovely Aretha Franklin that everybody's talking about these days with her song, and Johnny Cash, just to name a few. And then, growing up, I would watch, obviously now I do not have anything to do with her, but growing up, I grew up with Madonna, David Bowie, Depeche Mode, The Cure, Morrissey, new wave groups and things like that. And it just seems that back then, and obviously with me growing up in music, and I think the new wave pop culture, that music was just so interesting and it was so entertaining. And you had your feminine musicians, i.e. David Bowie, Steve Tyler from Aerosmith, Boy George. We were all infatuated with these men, like all of us. And they were like feminine, masculine men. And while on stage, that was who they are. That was their performance. That was what made them who they are. And I didn't try and push anything onto anybody. If you wanted to dress like a girl, dress like a girl. I don't care. Nobody gives a fuck. Unless you push it down my throat. So it makes me kind of sad to see all of these performers that, made the Grammys what they were just completely non-existent now, because you have these, I don't want to talk bad about anybody, but you have these new performers that literally make no sense in their songs. I think they probably use more auto-tune than they do their actual voice. And it's just a disappointment because music used to be good. And, right now I'm full on listening to country because I don't enjoy any other music that's out right now unless I go back to my roots on what I grew up listening to. And I don't know. The Grammys, it's a piece of junk TV show now. And I just wish that this award ceremony would go back to the way it was. Nowadays you have just the most woke speeches and raunchy performances in these award shows, and it just makes people it makes you feel gross. Award ceremonies are supposed to make people feel good. And I was reading today actually that the Grammys are down 53% this year from last year. I think it was like at 18.7 million last year viewers, and this year was at 8.8. I can't remember if it was last year or the year before when Cardi B did the WAP one, which was just absolutely disgusting. It boggles my mind right now that that's even allowed on television, especially having a young child. She's never going to be watching that kind of stuff. But the thing is that the public, I think, is tired of this political puke that's coming out of people's mouths at the podium at the Grammys, at other award shows as well. But right now we're talking about the Grammys, and I think people are just tired of it. They want to see a good show. They want to see good performances. You know, no one cares. No one cares what you believe on that podium. They just want to know that you're excited to be there because of the music that you're performing, what you do on stage. You know, the art of being in music and how it makes you feel, makes people feel. No one cares what side of the spectrum you're on at that moment in time, if that makes sense. And it's very, very frustrating for me to just understand how you go up on a stage, accept a musical award. Obviously, people think you're pretty amazing at what you do if you're getting an award, a Grammy award. But you don't need to cross the line and start talking about A, B, C, and D and how E, F, G, and H are not okay. It just, nobody cares. Just accept the award, realize you got the award, be grateful for the award. You know, if you like Lizzo, I think at the last Grammys or whatever award show it was, you know, she talked about being oppressed and how, you know, she came from this and that and blah 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 and wah wah wah, but yet she's playing on $1 million flute. You know, I just stop, Play your flute. You're an amazing flute player. Play your flute. Let people hear you play your flute. We don't need to hear about how you're oppressed because clearly you're not oppressed. You probably, you know, live a lot better than a lot of people in the entire world. Not probably, you do. I know you make a lot more money than I do. So stop. Just stop with it. I mean, nobody cares anymore. Just perform. That's what you do, and that's what you're good at. So back to, off my little rant there, back to Sam Smith. Okay, so I literally wake up on Monday morning in my normal routine that I have, and all I see is red, just red. And I'm looking through Instagram and TikTok and all these messages and things like that, and it's just a constant flow of red. Now, for some of you that don't know, I think Sam came on the music scene back in like 2008 or 2009. Very masculine looking, a good looking guy, dressed like a guy. I mean, I don't think that non-binary was even a word back then, but he looked like a rad singer, and he was somebody that you would want to sit there and enjoy and look at. And you fast forward a couple of years, and he's turned into somebody that, I mean, I just don't care to listen to his music or watch anymore. But Sarah, can you do me a favor? Can you pull up one of those, the pictures from his performance? Okay, so here's one of them. You know, I mean, the evil in these pictures are just insane. Like, to even think that kids were watching, it just makes me sick to my stomach. And it's pure evil, I think. And can you, I think there's one with him and his posse, like his little group of their men dressed as women. Again, I'm not trying to be politically correct right now, you guys, because I don't know if transvestites or transgender are the same as drag queens. There's just so much going on that I'm just going to say I believe that they are drag queens dressed as devil women, I guess, type of thing. But if you look at that picture, it's just nauseating. And this Kim Petra, I don't even know who this is. Woman wins a Grammy, but nobody knows who she is. I did read something about her being a transgender, but I'm not sure. I have no idea. I didn't look that much into her. But like, she just came on the scene and sang this song and wins a Grammy. It's unbelievable. I don't get it. And then I believe, Sarah, can you bring up the one of him by himself? You can see him with his devil horns. I mean, come on. If that doesn't give you the heebie-jeebies just looking at it, I mean, look at him. I mean, it makes my heart like feel sad and gross and nasty. And I have a big heart, you know. But you know, I want my daughter to know what music is. I want her to understand what music is and how it makes people feel and how, you know, it can save someone's life. You know, things of that nature. And when you have stuff like this on TV, it just completely like makes me sad because I don't want her to be around it. You know, some of the songs she hears on Kids Bop these days, and it's on Kids Bop, I have to like take away because I just can't believe the message that's even coming through on the songs that they're putting on these albums for kids. So I hope and pray that the Grammys do come around and get back to what they're about, and you know, and actually give awards to people that deserve them and that aren't getting them just because they decide to become part of the woke mob that's happening right now. I did find a tweet by what's his name, Data's Poker Face, that I wanted to share with you guys, and it's with regards to the Sam Smith, and it says, "Hey, at CBS, you can stick your pathetic hashtag Grammy show up your collective asses. You featured a satanic, perverted music performance by hashtag Sam Smiths. This is the best part right here. Then Beyonce comes out, praise to Jesus during her acceptance speech. And then he goes on to say, WTF happened to fun music, most depressing music award show ever. Now, clearly, Beyonce went on stage and got her award after this performance, knowing full well she needed to pray. I mean, if Queen Bee can get on stage and pray to the Lord Jesus Christ, then we all can, you guys. She clearly noticed that something was wrong. Okay? I mean, come on, we're not dumb. Some of us are, but not all of us. So now, I was also thinking with the stuff with Sam Smith and what he did, because obviously he was never, I mean, back in the day when he came on the music scene, he did not portray to be any type of satanic devil worshiper into that crowd. So I was thinking, what, and I'm going to play I'm not, no pun intended on this, but I'm going to play devil's advocate. And what if it was all for marketing purposes? You know, what if it wasn't for him really truly believing he's into this cult or whatever it is you want to call it? And he truly believed, I mean, and it was for marketing purposes. As we all know, this song was one of the biggest songs of 2022. I mean, it was on every single music platform. You could not scroll on any type of social media platform without hearing Unholy. The story in the song kind of sucks. I mean, it is what it is. And if you hear your daughter, you know, singing it, it kind of sets you back a few years, or it actually makes me add on a few years to myself. But if you think about it, the song's named Unholy. You know, clearly we know it's not a good song. But you know, I don't know. I think, you know, everybody on the left and the right was enjoying that song up until Sunday. And then obviously one group of people took it one way and the other group of people felt like, you know, they were being heard from around the world. So now everybody's talking about him. Every single person in the world right now is talking about Sam Smith being a devil. You know, maybe that's what he was planning on doing. I don't know. But it's a good question, and I would love to hear whether or not you guys, you know, think that you see my other side of it. Now, I obviously don't agree with what he did or anything, but it could be marketing. You know, they always say any publicity is good publicity. Wolf of Wall Street, I learned that. Bad or good, publicity is publicity, and it's always good. So with that said, you guys, I know I went on a little rant, but I just had to get it out. Wanted to see what you thought about it. I will see you guys next week here at UnBroken. Until then, have a good week. XOXO. Bye.